Are we back on TikTok now?
We're on the TikToks? Oh boy.
TikTokies?
TikTok's still a thing? I thought that was over with. What? You were Russian Indian. Hold on. Yes, you were Russian. You're Russian Indian for a Chinese app.
Okay, there you go. That works. Hey,
you're picking all the wrong parts of Asia. China, the hugest country in the world. I'm gonna pick it all around it.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Lord.
China's not the biggest. Russia's the biggest, but still.
Hey, welcome to Fine, I'll Watch It. I'm Smoking Phat J.
I'm Matt Christy. And he's seen Sinners.
Yeah, apparently he's seen Sinners. He saw it. He watched it.
That means something to us. We're not going to say it on air anymore. No, I said we're not going to. It said you watching Sinners means something, but we're not going to say it on air anymore.
Oh Lord, okay.
We haven't been canceled enough.
Yes. You might have thought we were canceled because we haven't been here in a few weeks, but we are back. We are going to wrap up The Last of Us season 2,
just like HBO did.
Sort of. And we're also going to talk a bunch of trailers and what we got coming up over the next couple of weeks.
And other such news.
All that news. Let's see. Are we on here?
I don't know.
Let me see. Are we happening? What's happening?
Are we trending?
I think so.
Yes.
I think so. I think it's because James watched Sinners.
Oh, yes.
We didn't see a long Facebook post about it. Oh, there's no Facebook for James anymore.
Yes.
What?
You're on Twitch for sure. And Instagram.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But I've heard it's really good, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, exactly. 2 stars.
2 stars.
2 stars. James, it was the best thing I've seen all year.
We're back, baby. We're back.
We're back. Last of Us season 2. We got a couple episodes to talk about.
We do. One is wonderful.
One is wonderful. One is confusing.
That's a word that we can. That's a word we can describe it with.
Let's get into it. I guess we could just, I assume we're going to probably talk a lot about these as a whole, but, so we'll just take it where it goes, but.
Yes. Yes.
You got to watch more of his interviews, man. That's the interview charm is what does it.
Yeah. It's.
Hey, he makes them wet just by the voice.
The him and Nick Cage movie.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That movie with him and Nick Cage.
Yeah, the memeable moment of him grinning like an idiot is that'll do it right there. Mm-hmm. So we got 6 and 7.
Yes, we do.
7 episodes was what this was.
Yeah.
Odd number.
I was lied to, but okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes.
We're good. Well, I think that's what we're probably all going to agree on is wanting more. Like, yes, we got a lot in these 7 episodes, but I'm gonna feel like we didn't get enough. Like, it just feels like a very forced cut.
All right, real quickly, I say we talk about episode 6 by itself right now, and then we'll talk about 7 and the entire season and everything else because
6 is great.
6 is a standalone.
6 is when we go back and we see Joel and Ellie's relationship and what happened, you know what I mean? Which we got that great from the episode before that, we got that great ending where it's like, oh, she fucking knew.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna get the story of how she knew. And it's great. You know what I mean? See, I felt it in her eyes when she said it at the end of 5.
I felt it in her eyes too, but I still brought up the question of, was it said to her, or was it something that was so heavily implied?
Yeah. I wasn't sure that he actually told her or she found out or maybe she just intuitively knew, but it was, I felt that the conviction in what she said was that she fucking knew.
Yeah.
But you're right. I didn't know how that came about. And, they played it great. That whole. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that old man was likely not going to live long enough to make a cure nor to train enough people.
No. My reaction to you isn't that I'm arguing that they were going to make a cure. My reaction to you is that they were dead set on their conviction that they're taking people who they know are immune to it and applying what they know and or remember, but obviously they don't have the staff, they don't have the technology because it's been, 15 years by now at this point?
It's 20.
20 years since they started? I know. No, right. No, exactly. But even after that, they're not. How are they distributing this? How are they mass producing it? All of this. I understand that, but the fact that she was going to die regardless for what they were trying to do, whether they succeeded or not, the end result was that she was going to die. And going back to season 1, Joel's choice was that he was not going to let her die in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether the doctor deserved to die or not is its own debatable thing. That would be the undebatable choice of anything that happened in terms of Joel rescuing her. It's like, oh, those other motherfuckers, yeah, no, they deserved it. The doctor himself, I don't know that he necessarily deserved it. But that being the impetus for what part 2 of the game is and what season 2 of the show, seasons 2 through 4 of the show are, has its own significance and everything else like that. But at that point, Joel had already killed 8-9 people, and it was like, anybody shows any resistance, they're not going to make it anymore. That would be the only debatable choice that he made in the entire thing, because it's like he could have easily incapacitated that guy, regardless of that his scalpel.
And then we also tend to forget that he killed essentially the lady who raised her, right? Whatever her name was, right at the end too.
Yeah, but that's who James was referring to, though. She had the option to take her herself.
Right.
She chose not to do it.
I liked it from the beginning. I liked the going through the birthdays and seeing the breakdown too. You know what I mean? Like, it was such a smart storytelling. You know, again, it kind of prepares you for a very feelings heavy episode. You know what I mean? Like, just they you know, it may have felt like Joel came back kind of fast, but for being dead, but like, it was set up, and you know, all the feelings of him being back were great. You know what I mean? So,
well, that didn't do anything else with the actual story that they were in. Helped. The entire episode was focused around these couple of years that took place between Joel and Ellie being together. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
definitely.
And even though it helps the episode was also the one that got killed. Yeah. And then 7 came along.
Down quite a bit. Because going back to what you guys were talking about with, if I remember right, because the whole thing blows up with her girlfriend when she says, "Oh yeah, I fucking knew, and I was supposed to be a cure and all this shit," you know, right? And then she's pissed off and she wants to go home when she was like ride or die 2 episodes ago, and it's like, I don't understand why this changes any of the things. Yeah. You know whose motivation is solid though? Is real dad. Real baby daddy, whatever his name is. I don't know. Like that dude, he's consistent. Like, you know, he might seem surprised show up, but like follows his character to the T. And when he's like, "Oh, I'm a dad. Oh, well, fuck this. I'm fucking out of here." Like, you know, like we're getting my kid out of here, you know?
His name's Jesse.
Jesse, that's it. and
here's the moral of the brilliance of episode 6 compared to the rest of the season for Ellie's character. Season 1, Ellie was this abandoned child who was like didn't really have a family. Anybody who was dealing with her was running these experiments and tests on her because they found out she might be immune, but they didn't really show her compassion, love, or anything else like that. She's going on this journey with Joel, where Joel initially doesn't care about her, he's just transporting her as cargo, and then they grow in each other. So now even though this lie at the end of season 1, which she has in the back of her head that maybe it's a lie, as episode 6 shows, over the couple years after that, they're growing closer together. She has a family, so she's becoming more stable in a world where that shouldn't be a thing. But because she has this connection with Joel and she's being shown all these things that she was never going to be given before she met her, it's like now she's coming to this point where it's like, yeah, she's going to not have a straight answer for how she's doing and everything like that. No pun intended on that. But it's because she had lived this. Yes, she lived this. Yes, yes. Yes. So she's lived her life this one way, and now she's shown this whole other world, and she's becoming acclimated to this whole other world, and then that comes crashing down, and she has not reached a point where she knows where she is anymore. So that episode did a great job of showing that. So while she looked like an inconsistent character, yeah, she's a fucking inconsistent character because her whole life has been inconsistency.
And she's become so much of Joel too, to where it's like, he was, even though everybody loved him and this and that, and he had a bunch of good qualities, the dude was a fucking killer. Like for years, he was a fucking murderer. At the very beginning, like people are like, you don't fuck with Joel. You know what I mean? Like, remember the dude who was beating up his girl and was like, you're not going to go fucking tell Joel, right? You know what I mean? Like, that was the thing. Yeah. He wasn't worried about what she was going to do. He was worried about her telling Joel, and so, I just think a lot of that rubbed off on her, and that's where she kind of feels like she needs to be. And it's interesting because it follows kind of the same path. Joel loses his daughter, becomes that. Now she loses Joel and steps over into that edge, you know what I mean? Which she was already skating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but I'll argue in the first season, they told the full fucking arc. They just didn't do that this season. We don't know what Ellie's arc is going to end up to because we abruptly cut this off to do some, the opposite.
It's not completely. It's
the opposite of.
So here's the real problem. This season was 7 episodes. If you go back and look at it based upon what they're going to do with Abby next season, Ellie's time for when this whole starts, day 1, day 0, when I started doing that on screen, was in episode 4. Her time in Seattle dealing with anything were episodes 4, 5, and 7. 3 episodes. What are you doing with Abby next season that you're going to take longer than 3 episodes to show specifically what you showed with Ellie? And why can't that then be the rest of this season?
Sure.
Even if it's 5 episodes, that should be the rest of this season.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
That's right. Flannels as far as the eye can see. Always in season. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the biggest letdown is no real resolution. It's really the game is on kind of a whole situation, or not even that. It's just like, yeah, I'm anticipating going back, and it's just
It's now a telltale game.
if they would have been ballsy, they would have told Abby's story from the start.
Yeah.
So that, maybe show her, or maybe even save the killing of Joel, you know what I mean, till later. But I don't really know. It just feels really weird, and it was very disappointing.
Yeah. Not saying they weren't good things in episode 7. Her confrontation with the two characters at the museum or whatever the fuck it was, that was a wonderfully done scene, especially when the one girl's dying and she's trying to get Ellie to save her baby, and Ellie is just like becomes an actual kid that she is mentally because she's not been prepared for this in her life at all. Mm-hmm. So, but things like that were good, but as an overall, the way that episode ended, or the fact that they said, "Oh, this is the end of the season now. Please pay us another."
The lack of an ending.
Please pay us another $10 a month until we decide to release season 3, and then we're still not going to be done with it. We're going to do a season 4 to actually wrap it up. It's like,
yeah, because I don't mind a cliffhanger, but you have to have a resolution for your season before you drop your next season cliffhanger, and
Abby's story for next season should have been 4 to 5 more episodes of this season, and then you can have a cliffhanger resolution season.
Well, I really hope it doesn't have to be that.
I mean, we'll see what they do with season 4, but I mean,
I think it's more. Well, let's rate this, and then we'll talk about what we think is coming.
How are we rating this? As an overall for most episodes, or rating per episode?
I think we should rate per episode.
Okay. That sounds exciting. I don't want to bring down 6 just because we have to put 7 in with it.
Because honestly, for me, 6 is, and we won't have the ratings up, we'll just say them, but 6 is going to be...
It's out of 5.
It's a 5 episode for me.
Yeah.
Like, that was a great episode. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5 straight across.
And it's a flashback scene. The whole episode is like one of our biggest bitches. It's a flashback scene.
Fucking Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this guy's dead. Let's watch him for
Book of Boba Fett. Okay. Yeah, no. That was, the episode 6 is definitely 5 out of 5. It's like, it's the best storytelling. It's the best character showcase for, especially those two characters who were the characters from the first season that we cared about, and what we in the season cared about to begin with.
Wait a minute.
Joel sang the song. Joel sang the song on her birthday. Yeah. No. That's how good the episode was.
You're 5.
No.
Too late.
No.
Don't take.
No, it says it's 5 because that's how good the episode was. It was so good that it lulled James into thinking there was no actual song sung in that episode. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Okay,
7's a 2.
7's a 2. Yeah, it is a 2. Yeah.
Like I said, there were a few good things that happened in the episode.
Couple good moments.
But yeah. I wasn't bored either, but it's like when you start going quick pace, it's like you throw Ellie on the island and she gets captured by the cult, and then she gets rescued by the cult, and then immediately she's back on her mission to go to the thing again. It's like what was this side quest, and why was I forced to be on?
Yeah, it's one of those little side quests where you're just like, oh well, the marker's right here. I'll just do this one quick.
We killed 2 more characters with meeting, and then yeah.
Yeah.
We.
Well, going forward, I think actually I actually think the Abby stuff is going to wrap up a little quicker. I think it'll be like max 3 episodes, and then we're going to go forward from there with the rest.
That's fine, except for the fact that the problem is that Mason's on record saying that he thinks he needs a season 4 to wrap up the entire story. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going to go, listen, I have heard crickets about this season ender. You know what I mean? Like last season, everybody's talking about it. This season, nobody's talking about it. They're not, I don't hear people saying it's bad like us though, but I just don't hear people saying anything. So I'm betting he don't get an option for a season 4. That they're going to have to wrap it up in season 3.
Well,
They're going to say,
well, there's a reason. There may be a reason for that too, that he may get a season 4 or not. But we can talk about that after we talk about this, because it's part of important news that came out this week.
oh, okay.
So, but yeah,
I missed all that. Or 3.
yeah.
Yeah. I want to give it more because of exactly that. There's a couple episodes. There's probably even maybe 4 episodes that are really, really good, at least, if not amazing. But that ending that's not an ending spoils it, and I think I have to give it a 3 too. I'd have to also give it
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a war between this cult and these people, and
Would you like to see
one
it happen?
one side has tanks and the other has bows and arrows, and somehow it's still a fucking. I mean, they tell you, because they convert. Yeah, you were the narrator. At the beginning. What happened?
And then in part 2, it's the same. They treated it the same way. Oh yeah, the Android. I like that character. Can we please go back to it? No. Okay, movie. Thanks anyway.
Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 3.5. I guess. I mean, like I said, leading into episode 7. I was fine. Everything was good. We're going at a nice pace. It's like all fun. Also in my head, this season's 10 episodes long. We got time to cover more stuff. And I was like, oh, this episode's what the fuck? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I knew we were doing a 3rd season, but yeah, that's not the way you set up for a 3rd season.
No. Oh well, we'll get to the.
We'll mention it more whenever
we'll
it
get
is.
to the next one sometime. Shall we talk video game stuff or?
Let me talk the news real quickly.
Okay.
In case you guys missed it, Warner Brothers came out and announced this week that they're splitting themselves. They are going to a whole television and broadcast division, and they're going to a whole streaming, etc. division. Two completely separate things. So, do I think Last of Us gets season 4 no matter what now? Yeah, pretty much, because Warner Brothers isn't going to have anything, especially if they're going that route.
Yeah.
They're going to reinvest some money into it, and Warner Brothers, if they weren't enough for the mess already, just wait till they are competing against themselves.
Does that mean that their deal with HBO Max and DC stuff is going to be?
No, because they own DC. Warner Brothers owns DC. I'm just saying
I know, that's what I'm saying. So if are they going on their own streaming thing, or they're just going to start putting out stuff for streaming platforms? Or are they going to start?
The broadcast, movie, streaming, all that stuff is going to be its own separate thing now.
No, I understand that, but is it going to be a new HBO Max, or is it going to end up being a new? Are they just creating streaming content?
That channel's still going to be the same. What else is going to appear on it and not, we'll see. But then they're going to have their own other content for TV and everything else, and some other version of media as well. That's yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, look, this leads right into
HBO Max.
Is because Superman. They got a lot riding on Superman, and shit, if it doesn't look wonderful, each trailer makes me more excited, and man, I really hope it works out, because I'm real excited.
Eve.
I know. The closer we get to it, the more nervous I get. The closer we get.
All those people who were trying to cancel James Gunn because they realized he made movies and questionable choices when he was younger, back at almost have us lose Guardians 3, are now all clinging all over him. They're in James Gunn we trust.
Well, yeah, I'm very, very, I'm hopefully optimistic.
I mean, the shining point of this is that if Superman fails, Warner Brothers may be done. I don't know. I want it to succeed.
Yeah. Not only do I want it to succeed, I want it to be a really good Superman movie. I really want it to be a really good Superman movie. I realize it's not going to be everything about my version of Superman. Superman's been around for fucking 100 years almost, There's several different ones, but James Gunn seems to have a real reverence for the characters that he deals with, and he seems to really love comic books and love actually taking things from the comic books. I mean, Suicide Squad had madness in it, but, it had such deep cut shit all through it. He's using Starro, and, that's just shit you're just like, poke it up. I want to see. Yeah. I'm ready. I want to see the actual comic book pages come to life on the screen. And I felt like in Suicide Squad, I kind of had that for the first time. And because I think we're so far past this trying to make it a movie and not the comic book thing where it's like, I really want to see it get closer to that, continue to get closer to just that popping off the comic book and all the madness that comes with that. And this movie and these trailers, the Superman trailers, it feels like that. It feels like you're jumping into we're starting the new Superman arc, but Superman and all these fuckers have been around for a while.
Yeah.
And we're not going to fucking over explain all that shit. This is just the fucking world you've jumped into. And you know fucking Superman's story. We don't have to, we might talk about it a little bit, but we're not going to spend a fucking 30 minutes with Marlon Brando telling you that fucking story again. You all know that. So we're jumping into this fucking world. You're jumping into this storyline, and the shit's already been happening. That's kind of what excites me about this Superman, at least those so far as we've been sold.
Yeah, you don't have to tell the story every single time about how it happened and everything.
No, and again, I want to be jumping in where it's like, yes, I'm Superman. I've been fucking Superman for a while, and there's a fucking Green Lantern, and there's a this, and there's a that, and I talk to these fuckers sometimes because I'm fucking Superman. Like, we talk to each other, these people with powers and shit like this. Like, you're in a fictional place called Metropolis. Like, we go on those rides for lots of movies already, and we have for a long time. Like, it's time to do it, to do it with these things for reals. You know what I mean?
Yep. Hey.
Yeah, that's a tough one too. You stood in line at the Valley Plaza Theater for like 3 hours.
Me, number one.
I was there too.
I was the number one person to buy tickets for Phantom Menace.
Well, look, that being said, I do have my Superman tickets. I did take advantage of the Prime.
Okay, yeah. I thought about it.
Deal day.
No, it's
So I'll be
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
Yeah.
July the 8th. I'm very
So you can sit on the information during our show that
You
week.
see me crying anywhere afterwards. Spoilers. That's all. And that new Fantastic Four looks amazing too, and it throws some new stuff with like the baby's gonna be born in this fucking movie. Franklin Richards is gonna be here, so like it definitely throws some more questions, which is kind of good. And it looks great too. So, and again, Pedro Pascal, sexiest man alive. Yeah.
He's gonna.
But have you seen that meme where he's grinning like a nerd?
He's gonna destroy his own universe to make that gun.
Yeah. I know.
Have you? Well, no, not necessarily even a hot take. Have you seen New Avengers yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The New Avenger. I said the New Avengers because that's what they renamed it.
Well, I think the baby's gonna have a lot to do with that.
Possibly. But I'm saying
It's gonna be like
I still think
we
they're
had
running
a
for the
kid,
universe. So
and I'm not gonna let my wife down and this and
Yeah.
that probably kind of thing because he's a weirdo nerd, like that doesn't have any feelings and shit. So
yeah.
it would be some shit like that. What else? There was we had another Ironheart trailer, which we got coming up.
And then I heard showed a little bit more of Red Hood and showed a little more of the mystic side of everything that's going on.
Again, that's my favorite thing about this is that it's not Iron Man versus Iron Man again. It's not like, okay, we got this origin story for this. It's like they're going to be doing magic. She's got magic in that suit.
Yeah.
Like, it shows the runes and all the shit, It's like witch magic and shit, so, I mean, I like that.
But the thing they dropped in the trailer, I was like, why do you need that? Is her AI companion.
Yeah, her AI companion is My best black girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
why does it need to be like why
existing.
does it need to be a hologram at all? Like I don't have no problem that it's my best black girlfriend or whatever, but it's like why a hologram?
Because it's Disney.
Why do you need a way?
Because it's Disney. We
did feel like Wizards of Waverly.
and Carly.
Yeah.
Hi, Carly. So we miss all that. So we need to bring it back in some form.
Yeah. It's like just have it be the voice in the suit. That's all it needs to be. Period. I don't care. Yeah.
I'm going into that.
You're gonna think I'm hating on her being black, but that's not.
Yeah, no. I'm going into the series like, okay. I'm not setting the low bar of I hope it's better than Secret Invasion. But
Yeah,
I mean, it's like I just hope it's not terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. That's what I said. I'm not going in that low of expectations, but I'm not pushing it above Falcon and Winter Soldier in terms of my expectations right now. Because Falcon and Winter Soldier, I don't care how much better that movie is made or not made by Captain America: Brave New World or other Marvel projects that are worse than that movie. That movie still falls in the dead center of all movie projects. All the television projects for me. So that's kind of my bar for. If it's better than that, then cool.
I think. Well, your shirt there. Can you see?
Oh yeah.
Your shirt? They announced. You can't really see it, but
Yeah.
they announced that there is going to be a Spaceballs 2.
There we go.
Boom. There you go. Sequel to Spaceballs with all the original cast, including Rick Moranis.
Nope. Not everybody's confirmed yet.
Okay. But I have heard that Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis is Bill Pullman's in it. Now they've announced that his son is in it. So I think they're going to go the children of the characters being the main characters this time around.
Okay. All right. Oh.
And the way they're going to go about that with Barf is that one of the head writers for the movie is Josh Gad. Josh Gad's going to be in this movie, so I'm right now presuming that he is going to be Barf's son.
Yeah.
In some way.
It's probably true.
I'm sorry, there's actually two characters that haven't been confirmed. One, Daphne Zuniga, has not been confirmed that she's going to be in the movie or not. And then, I can't remember the actor's name, but the actor who plays Colonel Sanders. I haven't heard confirmation that he's going to be in it yet or not either, because I believe he is still alive.
All right. Yeah. Well,
but good old Mel Brooks is going to play Yogurt
Mel Brooks,
again.
90-something years old, is going to come back and play Yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all right.
James, what are your thoughts about the original Spaceballs movie?
He shot that lady in the foot in Harlem Nights. Shot her toe off. That was hilarious.
You are comparing Spaceball to Harlem Nights.
Spaceballs is not by far not the funniest.
Hey. That's so.
Man, I got two 3D printers that literally have a ludicrous speed setting.
Yeah.
Man. I'm telling you, there's I don't think this is the funniest Mel Brooks film.
No, it's not.
I don't think by far. But it has a very I think maybe just because of the age that I was, being a big Star Wars fan, I thought it was hilarious as a kid. Probably going back, I'm not going to feel that way, but I'll always feel warm and fuzzy about it for sure.
I am never gonna hate the line and delivery of when they're searching for them in the, they're combing the sand. They say, "You found anything?" "No, sir." "You found anything?" "No, yes, sir." "How about you?" "Man, we ain't found shit." But it's wonderful. I yeah, Peter McNichol. Vigo. It's Vigo. It's Vigo. I I I, I want to say this about Dracula Didn't Love It because you brought it up. When was the last time you saw it? Okay, I saw it. Yeah, I've seen it more recently than that. When I first saw it in theaters, no, yeah, I did not care for it. I didn't care for the jokes. I didn't care for much of it like that. But when I rewatched it again, no, a lot of the humor doesn't hit, but it is such a faithful adaptation of the Dracula story that I was surprised when I saw it again. I was like, holy shit, this is actually Dracula, the book, put into movie form. With some not great jokes, but it's still a better representation of Dracula than a lot of Dracula shit that's been put out. So, hey, that kudos to them for that, I guess. One thing you have to respect for Mel Brooks is when Spaceballs came out, PG-13 was a rating. Spaceballs is rated PG. Spaceballs, you can thank for PG-13 now having the rule that you can use the word fuck in it at least once in a non-sexual way, because Spaceballs is the only movie that's rated PG that has the word fuck in it.
No.
Yes, I know exactly. Yes, I know exactly where it is. When at the end of the movie, everybody's evacuated the ship, and they go find the cancel button, and they go hit it, and Rick Miranda is the one that says it. It's like, fuck, even in the future, nothing works. right before the ship goes off, they go off to Earth in the future for Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids too. Or 4. Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. SCTV, yeah.
Yep. It's just targeting you, James. It's just targeting you.
That's just you. So it's and/or, not indoor.
That's why they're selling you Grammarly. They know you have problems. SCTV and the state controlled, or state produced, not controlled. Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah, whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like
Yeah. We got back around to you guys.
2 minutes, two times out of 5.
Okay, should we go on to video games? Because there was
Yeah.
a lot of video games
Yeah.
been coming out.
First off, for me, I played through Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which if people you've been hearing about it,
Great game.
it is one of the best games, if not the best game this year for certain, and one of the better games in a long time.
Yeah.
And a story that has more giving you stuff to think about than any video game has a right to.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, you want to see a movie made out of a game, make a movie out of this game. You'll have craziness, and then you'll have the most existential breakdown of your life.
And
So.
great gameplay, a really refreshing take on old turn-based,
Yeah.
RPG kind of style stuff. So, yeah,
So.
I've had a lot of fun with it so far.
And then we've had, just like Hubert, you're jumping on blocks, changing them colors.
Yeah,
You fucking
it's Hubert
mook.
with a twist.
Then we had the Summer Game Fest going on.
Yep.
And some things come out of that. I mean, a lot of it looked nice, but if you actually stop and think about it, a lot of it's the same old, same old. They're trying to do what they can to change certain things and everything like that. And
This is a roguelike. This
Yeah.
is Elden Ring style, Dark Souls, whatever.
this is a Metroidvania. This is this and that. So it's like, then it comes down to, okay, well, how does it actually play, and how's the story for it now? Because that's what games are now. Now it's not just about gameplay; it's about gameplay and
more
story.
and more, it's things like that Clair Obscura, which was a more, it's almost like a mid range. Like they're not quite indie, but they're definitely not AAA. And some of these companies are just pumping out things that they are really passion projects, and they're really interesting and refreshing. I talk about this one a lot, but Baldur's Gate, Baldur's Gate 3, that's another. Even though they were taking a style of game that's been out there a lot, they put a twist on it. And then, of course, with the D&D branding, they killed it, and then, made a very interesting game this year. Clair Obscur is doing that, and, so it's kind of hard to say, because the things that they're pushing out to you normally aren't the things that end up really impressing you later on. So,
And I think it says a lot for me to say that my most wanted game from everything I saw during everything that happened is the Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster.
Yeah, I was pretty excited for that
It's
one.
like, I'm getting that one. The rest of everything, I don't know, maybe. No.
Honestly, a piece of hardware was the most exciting thing
Yeah.
for me out of it, and that's the Xbox's team with ROG, and they're putting out the Xbox Ally, which is a handheld like a Switch, but it will play all the Xbox games, all your Steam games, all your BattleNet games. It will definitely
play Hubert if it exists in any of those.
Play probably several versions of Hubert.
And Hubert is gonna have more pixels than you ever see Hubert in your
jump
life.
away for you there.
Hubert's gonna look so realistic that you're gonna be scared and put it down for that reason.
But also, they haven't put the price point out on this thing yet.
No.
But I've heard that the base is supposed to be $799, which, looking at the specs on that, it's as good as a lot of laptops that would cost you, up to $400, possibly more, than that. And then they do have a better version, which has a 24 gig of onboard RAM which, I mean, that's pretty amazing for a little handheld device.
And double the storage capacity on it too.
Yeah.
But it looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What it's the intention for is probably going to reduce the need for a lot of things. It's going to be, but the thing is as much people are saying, oh, it's going to destroy the Switch 2, and I said, I don't know that it's in competition with the Switch 2. What I think it's going to do is now actually eat into ROG's current ally, and it's going to eat into Steam Deck.
Yeah, well, Steam Deck they don't give a fuck about because they don't own it, and ROG Ally, they're still getting money off of it. They're probably going to sell a hell of a lot more of those Xbox ones than they just did the regular ones.
Right.
Because they're branded with it. And as far as fucking over the Switch 2, I just think that the Switch 2 doesn't have strong enough of those Nintendo games available for it right now that makes people say, I'm going to upgrade from my original Switch. And especially if you're deciding on a handheld and you're not married to the Nintendo games, you're going to go buy this instead, especially for only $200 more. And then all of a sudden I have access to my Steam library and all my other shit,
Well, it'd be $300 more if it's $799. But still, the thing is though, there's like you're still trying to sell an Xbox to people when the Xbox has not been the greatest sell to people in the first place. I am not putting down what this is capable of, what you can do with it and everything else like that, and the vast library of games you're going to have access to. But still, the selling point of it being this is Xbox now. So great, you're spending $800 plus I don't know what the yearly cost for Game Pass is right now.
If you're doing the PC one, which is what you would use probably on that one, it's $10.
$10 a month.
Yeah.
Okay, if that's what it is, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know what it is because if it's an Xbox, they may be doing the Xbox version of it.
And if that's the case, then it's $20.
Yeah. So.
But you have access to way more games.
Right.
And Xbox has been nabbing up
Yes.
IP. So like all the Bethesda games come out on that first.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They have, of course they have their regular ones, Halo and stuff like that. And PlayStation has the Spider-Man games.
Yeah,
and maybe this new Wolverine game is coming out.
Is it?
Yeah, they have. Yeah. Well.
Because they haven't heard about it since they announced it.
Well, no, I've heard a couple things about it, but the things that I've heard has not been good.
You've heard officially things about it? You've heard people just whispering? Yeah.
Well, no, I also saw the leaked stuff too, but that's kind of where a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, but all the leaked stuff was build stuff, so I mean, take that with a grain of salt as to whether or not it's how it looks and everything else like that.
Well, there's a real basic thing that I don't think, regardless of if it's just build stuff, that is the big thing is like, why is Wolverine climbing and running and jumping off buildings? Like, why is that the game you built for Wolverine? Like, that's not. Yeah, I don't know.
So Sony's still trying to.
Well, yeah, maybe
Wolverine Cubert. That's fair.
Wolverine.
That's fair.
Wolverine doesn't feel like a open world game type of character to me. You know what I mean? Personally, if you're doing a full X-Men game where you like are switching between them, maybe. But
gonna run around the Canadian mountains and forests.
Like maybe if you dropped him in, like if you dropped Wolverine in almost like where you dropped him into a place that was, more open world and he had to go and like take out a bunch of people and it was more of a stealth through the forest type of thing. Yeah. That feels more Wolverine than, I'm stabbing my claws into buildings all over the place.
Well, James, like I said, he's going through the Canadian mountains and forest. So yes, absolutely. That's all they got there: moose and snakes that are curled up and bounce around. Nothing else in Canada.
But anyways, that ally is the thing that I'm most excited for. That came out of that. There was a few games again that were like, this might be something, but nothing that really excited me.
Resident Evil Requiem looks appropriately good.
Yeah, I just don't really play those games though.
So. Okay, that's fair. Because they apparently it's done. They're just gonna fine tune it and release it next year. because I already had people playing builds of it over the past week. And it's going to be out for one of the fests in August as well, so people are going to be able to play it before going in.
Good.
Did you play Silent Hill 2 remake?
I did not.
Oh, it's a wonderful remake. James is the stupidest character in video game history, but it's a wonderful remake. But why I'm saying that is because leading to the announcement Konami made today that the same group that made 2 is remaking 1 now.
Yeah, I did hear that.
So.
Yeah, I would like to go back and play those. I played a little bit of 1, but I don't think I ever really finished them. The old Resident Evils are pretty much the only horror games that I played. I get spooked. I get spooked by them. So.
Well, that's coming. Those are dropping on PlayStation Plus next month, I think it is.
All right.
2 and 3. The original 2 and 3 are dropping. The original 2 and 3 are dropping on that.
That was my favorite.
Because Director's Cut of 1 is already on PlayStation Plus, but 2 and 3 are now being released as well. So.
All right, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, but you got the opportunity for now to drop on the Switch too.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because they released part of the expansion pack, the GameCube system. So
that's true.
If you ever wanted to play Wind Waker the excruciating way, the original way, it's now available on the Switch 2 on the GameCube, where you have to find all 8 pieces of the Triforce and have no quick sale motion across the water. So hunt down that fish, man. Every area. I did too. I don't think that was on air, James. We're going over the joke, but we'll do it on air.
It's all right. Call back to an inside joke.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love Wind Waker since day one it was released, which I think we had an argument about that one. So you were talking shit about me every time I was playing it, and I was like, shut your fucking face. It's a wonderful game. But if you want to come to me and tell me that you 100%ed the original Wind Waker, you're a fucking liar. Don't fucking lie. Don't fucking lie to me. You did not get every single picture. You did not make every single statue. Get the fuck out of my face. Yeah, yes. Fishman, yes. Oi, small fry. Oh. It was a paintbrush. It was a magical fucking paintbrush, and you just painted over your map on. And also, Wind Waker, all offense to Tingle, because that was the game where he enslaved his brothers.
That's pretty cool. You're good.
You all have to dress like me, and you all have to work in servitude for me for the rest of your lives. Start pushing this wheel. It's like, Tingle.
Oh. All right, Jesus Christ. This has been an obscure Zelda minute on Fine, I'll watch it.
Oh no, we got more. But
That was too deep. It was too deep. I was drowning. We gotta go. All right, that's gonna do it for us for this week. 2 weeks we will be back with Ironheart, but next week we're gonna have something special.
What is
Not
that?
exactly sure yet. I'm gonna have to figure it out. I just figured out it was my turn. So if you have not been watching the show before, we occasionally have a free week, and we take turns. One of us making the other two watch something, usually pretty fucking miserable, sometimes really wonderful. My last one was great. We watched Eurovision. We all had a wonderful time.
Hold up. I point of order. I'd like to challenge that. Borderlands was your last choice.
Oh, Borderlands was my last choice. So is it your turn?
No. I did Fantastic Four after that. James did Jim McGregor. It is your turn.
Okay, well,
but Borderlands was your last. Borderlands was
maybe
your.
I'll go back with Wonderful again. We'll see.
I'm good. You all made me sing the fucking song.
You guys, there's actually probably a good likelihood that you guys have seen this, but have you seen Johnny Dangerously?
Oh God.
I'm kind of thinking about that one, even though we've all seen it. It's been a long time since we did. I listened to a podcast about reviewing it recently. And, I love that movie. But we'll put a pin in that. I might come up with something better. I'll let you guys know in a couple days.
Great.
So get
Super.
ready. Okay, so until next week, make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on all our social media, stuff like that.
This way.
Click.
There it is.
And thank you to our sponsor. Who was our sponsor again? What do we got? What's that? Right there. That's
Canoodle.
That's Canoodle.
That's Apex.
All right, there we go. Vibes. Thank you, Vibes, for sponsoring us. Until next week, I am Smoking Phat J.
I am Matt Christy.
We'll see you guys. Peace.
Bye.